Comes social media influencer Alinur Mohammed were today charged with making false publications and cyber harassment and publishing false information against State House spokesperson Hussein Mohammed, respectively. They were, however, released on bail, awaiting hearing.
Weeks after demonstrations rocked the country, some social media influencers found themselves under the wrath of the authorities for allegedly breaking the law on the socials.
Many of us are in Juakali.
Francis Gaido, a popular influencer on the X, was charged with making false publications and cyber harassment. Police said they had earlier confused Gaido with a veteran journalist, Macharia Gaido.
Media triggered escalated reports of missing persons not before the protest, knowing or ought to have known that the such publications would cause Jairus Onkundi Muruabi apprehension or fear of violence to him and damage or loss of his property. Is it or not true?
I was with him at the CID headquarters for a short time. We were then referred to Nairobi County Police, where we stayed for about 4 hours. It was very cooperative. And during the time he made the statement, it emerged very clearly that he's under harassment.
Francis Gaido's lawyer faulted the police for harassing his client. The lawyer further asked the court to release Francis Gaido without any bail, citing financial hardships in the country. The court, however, released Gaido on 30,000 shillings cash bail.
Agiri versus Republic Ikerar 2016, where Justice Mativo J, as he then was, said that the accused is a favorite child of the court. So having no reasons compelling to deny the accused, I hereby admit him to a cash bail of 30,000 shillings.
On the other hand, politician Alinur Mohammed, who was arraigned before Magistrate Robinson Ondikei at Mlimani Law Courts, was charged with publishing false information for alleging that the government spokesperson Hussein Mohammed had supported the countrywide demos against the president.
Particulars are on the 15th day of journalist and State House spokesman, but I can't stand this propaganda anymore.
Alinur Mohammed was released on a 30,000 shillings cash bail, with the case set to be heard on August 14th, 2024.
I shall not be able to trespass into the independence of other institutions' roles. However, the prosecution have submitted that they shall be ready by the 1st of August 2024 when the matter comes up for pretrial directions, and so be it.
Anthony Kwemoi, K24 TV.
Now, protests that have rocked the country in the past weeks have forced the head of state to stay put in the country. Now, for a president that has thrived in tour after tour to build his international status and reputation, the work he has done in the past 18 months seems to be going down the drain as the handling of the current issues get international attention. Mariam Jahid looks at the image of the president that is under scrutiny from the international community.
The 4 weeks anti-government protest led by Generation Z seems to water down President William Ruto's image in the international community. Over the years, Ruto has appeared to be a populist president and the most sought leader in African continent. Occasionally, he has been holding international conferences such as the UN Civil Society Conference and Africa Climate Summit in a bid to showcase his influence in governance matters. But with Gen Z protest continue spiraling to counties, police brutality taking the center stage, with at least 50 protesters having lost their lives when practicing their democratic right, the reputation of the head of state is now struggling in the mud. The current affairs have painted a different image on his governance and populist stand abroad. The use of force when subduing the ongoing demonstrations, nailing an already closed coffin of an image distorted. Earlier this year, Ruto was also feted in White House, being the first visit by an African leader to the US in 16 years. However, his polished international image is now franchised by international media, highlighting the gap between him and ruling class. They're now having a field day Kenya making headlines with revolution banners. The Kenya Gen Z protest has also awakened a revolution mood in the African continent, such as the planned demonstrations of Nigeria youths in August.
After Ruto, 7 you next. We are Ugandan.
Why Cameroonians can never go on the street to protest like Kenyans are doing? Number one, who will lead us? Who is going to lead Cameroonians on the street to protest like Kenyans?
Celebrities worldwide have also shown open support, many encouraging the Kenyan people to keep up the fight. In UK, 10 Generation Z members have been elected in parliament, depicting the revolution that's the tracked worldwide. Mariam Jahid, K24, Nairobi.
Right, thank you, Mariam Jahid, for that particular report. Moving on, Prime Cabinet Secretary Musalia Mudavadi is appealing to the youth to give the government time to take corrective measures. Mudavadi says the protests that have been infiltrated by thugs who loot and destroy property of undetermined value. And as Harriet Chimea reports, Mudavadi emphasized the need for a conducive environment to resolve the issue of unemployment through investors and the growth of industries.
Our planning officer.
There is no perfect regime, emphasized Prime Cabinet Secretary Musalia Mudavadi, who spoke for the first time as Super Cabinet Secretary of all ministries.
We have made mistakes along the way, and don't be cheated. We will also make mistakes as we go forward. There's no regime, there's no system. For as long as you're a human being, once in a while you stumble.
He made an appeal to the youth to maintain peace and stability as they undertake corrective measures, adding that protests continue posing a danger to the availability of international and national jobs.
Let us also make sure that our attribute is not undermined by our actions that do not reflect discipline as we go forward. It could have an impact on the great opportunities that we are providing both outside and even internally. We must not scare potential industrialists.
Adding that the protests have been infiltrated by indiscipline and looting, he made a clarion call to Kenyans to protect the country as such crises have crippled other nations such as Sudan.
It is easy to take it for granted, but I can tell you there's no peace in Sudan today. 23 million people, or 25, are facing a serious humanitarian crisis and total hunger. 10 million have been displaced. Even if you are expressing yourselves, why are you impoverishing the young men and women who are the Tibet?
Government spokesperson Isaac Mwaura has further called upon youth to halt the protest and give room for dialogue. Furthermore, he has urged parents to intervene and prevent unrest.
As a government, we therefore make a passionate appeal to our children and our youth to reconsider their plans to uphold to hold the demonstrations. Tumesema tuwe na dialogue, tuwe na mazungumzo. Ningependa kutoa mwito kwamba mazungumzo haya yaanze katika manyumbani mwetu. Wazazi, tuwazungumzie watoto wetu.
The government is currently negotiating for bilateral labor agreements with Germany, which is in need of more than 200,000 workers, among other countries, including United Arab Emirates, European countries, and Gulf states. Appearing as Acting Education Cabinet Secretary, Mudavadi officially launched the Curriculum Development Assessment and Certification Council 2023-2027 Strategic Plan, and also oversaw the certifying of 20,122 candidates who sat for the Competency-Based Education and Training March 2024 assessments. Harriet Chimea, K24.
All right, that story by Harriet Chimea takes us to our second break here on K24 Evening Edition. I see your feedback here on Facebook. Continue engaging us. We'll be sampling some of it as we continue with the program tonight. We take a break. We'll be back in a few.
Are you a child